So, if you could you state your name and your job for the recording?
My name is Katie Piper. I'm owner of Sandpiper Design Incorporated, and been in business for, over 20 years now, I think. It's been between everyone. We have 4 employees, and I'm a web designer, graphic designer, marketing, and advertising.
Okay, so like I said, I'll ask you 8 questions. So first question, how often and in what ways do you come into contact with people who have mental health diagnoses?
You know what, not as often as you would think. Usually it is more or less foundations and nonprofits and people helping organize events and websites and design logos for mental health awareness. So that's usually what I am dealing with that. There's been only one that actually has had mental health. But it wasn't even a mental health disorder. She was just born with the Lewy body disease.
Oh, okay.
So.
And then second question, what kind of education or training on mental health disorders have you received? Was it required or optional? And would you like more?
I have had 0 education on mental health. Back when I did go to school, they didn't intermix any of that in the design world or in my classes that had that. I mean, you had your basic generals, right? Yeah. Your psychology, sociology, all that kind of stuff that you had to take, but otherwise there was nothing ever applied with that. Over the years of doing stuff, working with the foundations, working with things that have happened to, other groups that I've worked with, I have learned a lot just through doing the process of website design and the education that they are trying to get out to other people is basically how I've learned. So we're self-taught by a great opportunity, right, to help other people. So.
Yeah. And then where did you go to school?
I went to Bemidji State University.
Oh, okay. And then would you like more training at all, do you think?
Sure. Yeah, I think anything that can help with the process of your day-to-day activities that have things going on. Like it's just more, there's so much more awareness out there, and there are more, people are being more and more vocal about it, and there's more and more opportunities to help with the situations of mental health. So yeah, I think it's anything you can learn to help other people and try to overcome it, or to make the world better place for people who struggle with that.
And third question, what 2 disorders do you wish you knew more about? And I provided a list.
I think the mood disorders, anxiety kind of go hand in hand, honestly. So more and more on that kind of thing. Just really based, I think, more on the mental and the eating disorders. That kind of all flows in. Being a varsity basketball coach, I think it's really important to understand the teen brain and how that develops and everything. And so I work a lot with just that in particular. So I think those would be my biggest ones are, personality disorder. Yeah, I think my biggest ones would be the anxiety, the mood disorders. Yeah, I think those would be my bigger ones.
Definitely. Fourth question, how do you think mental health impacts creativity and design work?
Well, I mean, it depends on the mental health or the situation. So color is a huge thing. Color can be abrasive to someone who has anxiety. It can be overwhelming to them. So you need to have the correct colors for the mood that your audience is going to be. So blues and greens, things that are calming, is something you'd want to design for like more mental health disorder or anxiety, things like that. And then there's a whole bunch of them out there that you really should do a lot of research on. So what is your target audience? Who are you trying to help, or who are you trying to engage? And then make sure that that color is appropriate for what their mental ability can be. Like some people, you know, red is going to be very offsetting, right? So you just want to make sure, you know, you're more with your purples and things like that. I think, again, abrasive fonts, things that are yelling at you, you know, you want maybe more of a relaxed font. Cursive, softer edges, things like that. So there is a lot that can go into making someone feel more calm, or, you know, yelling at them in an ad, right, or something like that. So yeah, it can be very important, and I think imagery is huge. Think about your images of somebody in a photo who is crying and upset, or you have a happy family running down a beach. It's, I mean, everything that's visual about it can touch people. It can catch their attention. You have someone who might be having a really down day and they're scrolling on the social media campaign that you're running, and then all of a sudden they see this engaging, quick video, right? And then they can open that up and say, it might help them that day. It might be the perfect, you know, social media campaign that was put together through an association, and catch their attention, say, I need to call for help today. So grabbing their attention in a way that, you know, just pops out to them, between all the other stuff that's happening on the web too.
Yeah. And so the color thing, is that something that you were taught in school, or just something that you picked up over the years on how that would help?
I think, you know, yes, in school you're learning that colors affect things in different ways, right? So they're your general common sense ones. And then over the years of learning, of people saying like, oh gosh, I feel like this is a lot. And I think just working with clients over, you know, 15 to 20 years of just experience, yeah. And working with these associations with different things, and how it's come off with the events, and how it's perceived, and you get a lot of feedback in that aspect, so.
All right. Question 5. Have you ever had to adjust your work process to accommodate a client or colleague with a mental health diagnosis? If so, how?
So I think this gal who had Lewy body, I had to be very patient with trying to explain things to her, because she really wanted to know she wanted to tell me how it was supposed to be, and I was trying to explain it to her that you can't do it that way in the programming world. Like Google, yes, it takes time for your website to be crawled, and it was just really hard. And so you have to be really patient, and you have to kind of explain gently to them like how it is, and keep explaining in different ways maybe until they can kind of understand it, and make them feel like you're still trying at the same time, even though there's you know that there's nothing you can do but wait for Google to crawl it. I have no control over that. So it's just finding ways to make the customer service still be good, and help them out in that way. I guess the other thing, you know, working with like the Be Kind Foundation, and having the lead person on that go through losing their son, and that kind of thing. Same with the Max Foundation, seeing the close-knit of these people lose a family member to suicide, and the mental health and things with that is just really just being sure that you are listening to them and what they truly want to accomplish, and making sure you're not just saying, well, here, you know, this is what you should do. I think you really need to slow down and learn with them, and be, you know, open to their, like, all their ideas that they have, and make sure it's incorporated into, because they have a true connection, and they have a true feeling about their project, and helping people with mental health and suicide. So I think it's really important to try to capture everything that they are feeling in the design work that we do for them, or the web design program, or the website that we are, or the blogs that we're doing, or the advertising, or the, you know, anything that we can do to make sure that what they want to get across is getting across.
Absolutely. Sixth question. What strategies do you use to manage stress and maintain your own mental health?
Exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've learned over the years when I get home, when my work day is done, to try to shut that computer down. I mean, I have a great flexibility to be able to bring my laptop home, pick the kids up after school. I still try to get done at 4:30, 5 o'clock, so I'm still just running kids, right? So, but when I get to that 5 o'clock, it's like shut the computer down. That doesn't always happen in our world, but with deadlines and stuff, but I do try to disconnect. So when I get home, there's that separation there, where when I first started, there was not. And I would go on vacation and I would still try to, because at the time I would be the only one. Like, I didn't have my other employees yet to help me out and stuff, but I would put it on myself to try to help these people, and it got to the point where I spent my entire vacation in a room trying to help other people instead of myself and my family. So you learn that you just have to separate it, and people can wait. There's not a rush, and people can wait. So
with your 20 years of experience, how long do you think it took you to finally get that message through your brain?
it was within that first 5 years. It's hard starting a business. You're late hours, a long time, and you have a smaller town customer service. You feel like if you don't reach out instantly and get everything done instantly to have that good customer service experience, you feel like it's going to spread around town, and you just have this anxiety of like, oh my gosh, I just, one bad thing could go like spread viral and I won't be able to make it. And there was a lot of stress on that aspect of it. But there was one particular vacation, and kids were small, and I spent the entire time with like a client who had high anxiety, and so because of their high anxiety, I always felt like I needed to like be right on top of it, and I was done after that. It was probably about that 5-6 years in. It didn't take too long.
Question 7. Do you think there's enough awareness and support for mental health in the design industry? Why or why not?
Oh, I don't think so.
No.
I unless you're an actual agency working for, I think it's getting out there because more and more people are asking for websites that are, that are needed, or logos for these events that they're learning about. So I think there's a lot of interconnection just because of people and clients and how you end up spreading small world type of situations, right? But no, there's not, not that I know of, I don't think there's a lot of education specifically built into that for designers. Yeah.
Question 8. Have you noticed any common mental health challenges among designers or creative professionals? If so, how do you think they can be addressed?
I don't know, because we're kind of in our own little bubble that we have. So I guess I don't work with a lot of other designers to really know if that's their feelings on it. I guess it's never even been, like, even if you go to conferences or things like that with, usually it's for something specific, like a tourism specific marketing thing, or it's for Google or SEO. It's not about mental health. So I guess I don't have a lot of feedback for that one.
It's all right. So I don't need to ask you extra questions. We have enough time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no
really
problem.
Appreciate it.
That's an interesting
Yes.
class.
Very much.